As a US citizen, you can sponsor your siblings for a green card. This video explains how to fill up form, especially if you have several address or job details, and where we need to use a continue sheet. And also in the foreign countries, address line one is a little bit longer. So I'll show you how to enter the address in a address line one as well. Always make sure that whenever you fill up the form I-30, always upload from USCIS website and make sure the expiration date for that form. In this case, is going to expire in February 28, 2021. I am filling this form and for siblings, so I will check I am filling the petition for my siblings, brother and sister. Then there are the other information. If it's related to you, enter those. Then if the beneficiary is your brother and sister, are you related by adoption? If it's yes, select yes. If no, as a no. Did you gain lawful permanent resident status or citizenship through adoption? In my case, no. I got the citizenship. I had a green card, so I entered the green card number here. If you don't, then you don't need, it's not required for you. Enter your social security number, your full name. If any other name used in the past, please enter this one in 5A, 5B, and 5C. Other information, city or town or village of birth, country of birth, and then your date of birth. Select option as a male. In mailing address, enter your current mailing address. If it's apartment, select as apartment, suite, or floor. If none of them is applicable for you, just leave this empty and you don't need to enter anything here. City, town, state, zip code, and then country, United States. Is your current mailing address the same as your physical address? If you select option yes here, then leave physical address 1, 12A to 13B. Do not fill this one and go to physical address 2. Let's suppose if your mailing address is different than your physical address, in that case, enter your mailing address from 10A to 10I, select option as a no here, and then enter your physical address from 12A to 13A. In this video, I enter several address I was living in past to show how to fill up the continue sheet or continuation of the address. So I enter my second physical address and the date from to. After this, my marital status, date of marriage, town, province or state and country, then spouse name. And if you've been married 2 times, let's suppose in case you divorce, so you will enter the previous spouse name here as well. Enter your parent details, their date of birth, country of birth, and then your father details or mother, it doesn't matter, you enter your father details here or here. Additional information about you petitioner. I am a US citizen, and if you gained your citizenship through naturalization, select this one. Have you obtained your certificate? If you obtained it, select as a yes and enter the certificate number. If in case you are US citizen, birth in the United States, then you don't need to enter the certificate number. Place of issuance, where it has been issued, city first and then state, and date of issue. If there's any additional information entered here, Employment history. In employment history, I gave example that was I was employed from 2019 to present, and then I was my other employment I was unemployed. So if you unemployed in for a few months or a year, so just enter unemployed and leave all other fields blank, and date when to when you were unemployed. Then your biographic information. For beneficiary full name, enter the person details. It's simple. Now, this is the most important thing, beneficiary physical address. Mostly in the foreign countries, address line 1 is very big and we don't have a space. In this case, you can write in same box, just write a little bit smaller so it can fit in the same box. And if there's any apartment, suite or floor, enter this one and enter the rest of the details. So this was the main important thing I want to talk about, because when I was filling the form, I really had an issue how to do it, but this is how I figured it out. Other information and contact information, enter rest of the information. Beneficiary, rest of the details, either they're married or not. If they're married, select as a married, and how many times that person has been married. If they're divorced, just select as a divorce, separated or widow. Place of where the marriage held, and then name of beneficiary and spouse. Information about the beneficiary family. Person 1, it will be your wife name, and then if they have any kids, enter it here. If they don't have a kid, just leave it blank. Then in question number 45, he says, was the beneficiary ever in the United States? I select as a no. Beneficiary employment information. This is information about the person you're applying for. Enter their details if they are doing the job. If not, then put as unemployed. Page 8 of 12, part number 4, information about beneficiary, continued. If the beneficiary native written language does not use the Roman letters, type or print his name or her name and foreign address in their native written language. Make sure if they do not use the Roman letters, then enter their details here. Let's suppose someone is from Bangladesh or India, they will write it down, their details in their own language, in their native language. So make sure that you fill out part 4 as well. 62A, 62B, and 62C. It says the beneficiary will not apply for the adjustment of status in the United States because they are not in the United States. In this case, what you do, whatever the closest city to you where they have where you have U.S. Embassy, enter the town, province, and the country. So try to make sure that you enter the nearest U.S. Embassy where interview can be held, or it's easy for you to travel over there. If you have any other relatives and you are submitting separate petition for the other relatives, enter their details as well. In this case, I'm applying for altogether 3 people and 2 other. So when I will fill up the beneficiary form for 1, I will enter the details for the other 2 as well. So I enter the detail for my relative 1, and on the next page I enter the details for my relative 2, my other sister. If you're applying only for 1, so just leave this one blank. It's not mandatory for you to fill it. Petitioner statement. Select the box for either item 1A or 1B if applicable. Select the box for item number 2. I can read and understand English, and I have read and understand every question and instructions on this petition and my answer to every question. I selected 1A. If you use the interpreter, select 1B, and if someone prepared the document on behalf of you, then enter the prepared name here. If you're filling the form by yourself, do not forget to sign it here with the pen or with a pen in 6A. If you use the interpreter, fill up the part 7. And if there was someone prepared the document for you, then fill up the form part 8, and do not forget to take their signature as well. Part 9, page 12 or 12. This is the most important thing which I really want to talk about, because when I was filling the form, I really had a difficulty how to fill it up. So in this form, I enter the last name, given name, and the middle name, and then enter my alien number. You will find this on your green card. And the first information I am doing is my physical address. In last 10 years, I lived in different addresses. So I already fill up my 2 address on page number 2. So the rest details I'm going to enter in 3D, 4A, and 5A. If you live in more than 5 address, then keep entering your old address for the last 20 years. So what I did, I continued the sheet from page number 2, and the part number was 2. I'll show you. So this is the page number 2, and here is the part number 2. So I just did the continuation. So I had a space where I entered my physical address 2, but there was no space for me to enter my address 3. So what I did, I entered the page number 2 and the continuation of the part number 2. I didn't enter the item number. It's not required. Just enter the physical address 3 and enter the rest of the details for the address, street, zip code, country, date from, date to, and state. You can put the state here as well. It really doesn't matter. And then continuation again, page number 2, part number 2, physical address number 4. I enter all the details here. Then again in page number 2, part number 2, I'm getting this one from the top as I showed you. Then I entered my 5th address here. I had a couple of jobs in the past few years, and I did not have space up there. And this is the continuation. So page number 4, it was related to my job information, and the part number 2 is the continuation of the part 2. If I scroll up on a page 6, page number 4, sorry. So this is page number 4, and right here is the part 2, information about you petitioner. So this is the continuation. I enter my employer 1, employer 2. So I was unemployed at that time, so I entered employer 2. Now I'm going to enter the information for the employer 3. So here again, page number 4, this is the continuation of the part number 2. You can see on the top left corner of the page. I enter employer 3, employer name, who was my employer, their address, city, state, and my occupation, what I was doing over there, date, from, and date.